Well, kia ora everybody. Now before we begin, don't you worry about turning off your cell phones, because if it goes off over the next hour, the embarrassment will eventually fade and people will stop giving you a hard time, honestly. So don't worry about your cell phones. Please turn your cell phones off. It's very hard to find new ways of encouraging people to turn the jolly things off, but that would be great. We're going to have plenty of time for your questions. I've got pages of them, but it's really, we're really keen to hear what you have to ask Nina as well. So we'll leave a good 15 minutes at the end of the session. Just try not to forget them. That's the hardest thing about questions. They'll come to you in a flash, and after 20 minutes or so, they've gone. So you can write them down if you wish. There's just too little magic and mystery in the modern world. The sophistication of CGI, we know all about that here in Wellington, means that anything is possible on screen. One day, no doubt, we'll unravel the secrets of dark matter and black holes. But I remember watching a stage show full of magical imagery rooted in a story from the Pacific Island culture. It was performed in a small makeshift pool lined with black polyurethane, and objects sailed and flew, truly as if by magic. The production was called Vula by Nina Nwalowolo's company, The Conch. It was staggeringly beautiful and unforgettable, and I expect nothing less of her latest work, Masi. Masi weaves together the history, mythology and craft of Fijian tapa cloth and a love story, and it's a very personal love story. And Nina, welcome to tell us about it. How are you?
Good, thank you.
In the midst of rehearsals too.
Yes, in the midst of rehearsals, yeah.
What's your first memory, your own first memory of seeing theatre?
As in a professional production?
Yeah, just something that stayed with you.
I think Marcel Marceau was at the State Opera House was very, very memorable, very changing moment for me. It was a very magical form of theatre, and visual theatre, yeah, it's always really caught me. So that was one of my first memories that stayed very, very strongly with me.
You just telling me you studied mime, in fact.
I did. I actually went many years ago to Wellington Teachers College, and at that time Robert Bennett and Jane Bennett were wonderful lecturers in the drama department, and I took a mime course, and he ran a company called Mime International and went around the schools, and it was it really caught me. It just caught me as a form, and from there I had an opportunity to go to Russia to a festival as part of Mime International, and then from there I went to London because I was very, very interested in going to the source of European theatre and looking at the forms of things, and so I went and studied in London, and from there studied on different sort of theatre practices, like commedia dell'arte and different forms that interested me, which led me to meeting Paul and led to this, collaboration.
When I saw Vula, I remember that as critics, we had a big debate because, and this was only 10 years ago, it used to be that the categories were very clear. There was theatre, stroke drama, there was dance. And you crossed those boundaries, and we loved it so much we decided that it just had to go in theatre. But that's one thing that you do, perhaps from your interest in mime, that your productions are what they need to be. They have elements of all these art forms and they're their own thing.
Yes, I mean, I think we all, obviously get inspired